Welcome to Daily Life Connection as we continue in this video talk time to explore who God is, how He works, and what difference that makes in how we live life. Today I want to talk to us about the prodigal God. Yeah, you heard me right. Not the prodigal son, the prodigal God. That word prodigal means wastefully extravagant, recklessly lavish. That certainly describes God well, doesn't it? I mean, He's a God who blesses the good and the bad. In Matthew, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, God sends rain on the just and the unjust. He lets the sun rise on the good and the evil. He lavishes His love on us uh, even when we don't respond to it. Think of the seed planter story in the Gospels. The sower sows the seed, the word. Where does he sow it? Not just in the ground he knows will. Oh, this is good. In the ground that will produce a crop, the good soil. He throws seed on the soil where the weeds are. He throws seed on the soil that's rocky. He even throws seed just on the roadway, on on the path, on the road into the field, where there's no hope of it taking root or producing a harvest whatsoever. That's a prodigal seed sower, but that's who God is. He completely acquits every last human being of sin, whether they want it, respond to it, are grateful for it or not. He takes away the sin of the world. Takes away the sin. Lavish, prodigal. He spoils us rotten. Ephesians chapter 1. He has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly places. He's made the whole resources of heaven available to you or I. Now, what kind of a responsible parent would do that for their irresponsible children? We'd set up a trust fund. We wouldn't give them the debit card with our PIN number to our total bank account, but God does. He lavishes on us. In 2 Peter chapter 1, he talks about how he has given us everything necessary for life and godliness. He's just given it to us. He wrote us out a blank check. That's a prodigal God. He's wastefully extravagant with us because sometimes we misuse what he's given us. Sometimes we abuse it. Sometimes we spend it on the wrong things. Sometimes we ignore it. Sometimes we don't take care of it and steward it very well. But he just keeps pouring it out. He keeps restoring us when we fail. No matter how many times we fail, he keeps restoring us. He pours out his grace. He blesses for no reason at all, just because he blesses us. He doesn't bless us as a reward for good behavior or because it's an incentive to make us behave better. He just blesses us because he's extravagantly wasteful, lavish in his giving to us. Philippians chapter 2, that great hymn to Jesus, it says he emptied himself. In 2 Corinthians, it talks about he became poor that we might become rich. He became sin that we might become righteous. That's extravagantly wasteful. It seems there must have been a more economical way to bring salvation to people. But he's willing to just give it all. Prodigal God. He's ridiculously, scandalously, extravagantly lavish with his forgiveness while we were still sinners, while we were still enemies, even when we mess up, no matter how often we mess up. He's lavish with his grace. You know what grace in some ways means? He treats us like we're his favorites. He treats us like we're his favorites. Boy, it would have been great, wouldn't it, when you were in school, if you were the teacher's favorite or your parents' favorite? You get the extra special blessing, the bigger scoop of ice cream. That's grace. That's how God treats us wastefully, extravagantly, prodigally God with his love. And there is no end to it. Thankfully, I mean, we read the story of the prodigal son, and the kid runs out of money. The prodigal runs out of money. He blew it all lavishly, extravagantly, wastefully on his friends and parties and whatever. But it came to an end. The good news is with our prodigal God, there is no end to his resources. Out of his infinite resources, he blesses and graces and loves and forgives over and over and over again. So rejoice today, won't you? Won't you just rejoice or even share it and tell somebody, I am so amazed that my God is prodigal. He lavishes wastefully on me all of his goodness all of the time. That's good news. Let's think about that today. We'll talk again tomorrow.